Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays with Sam, the Miracle Man. You'll join a captivating and transformational podcast where we'll explore the extraordinary journey of Sam, a man who overcame all odds to reclaim his life and health. Each Wednesday, Sam shares his inspiring stories of growth, health, and his journey to find wellness through self-care, mental well-being, and physical rejuvenation. We'll also have dynamic and interesting interviews with professionals in health, fitness, spirituality, and personal growth to help you on your journey to uncover the true secrets to living your best life. With just a click, you can subscribe. We will welcome you every week. Now here's your amazing host, Sam.
Hey, Miracle Makers. I hope you're feeling well and living life on your terms. This week we have a special guest. We have Becky from Health Transformers. She's a nurse that turned into a health coach. She focuses on back pain and weight loss. But I think the most important part of this interview was the mindset and the mindset that is required to transform our health. So I hope you enjoyed this interview. Take good care. Here's Becky. All right, welcome everyone. We have a special guest with us here today. We have Becky from Health Transformers. So welcome.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
All right, I appreciate you being here today. So you help people with their health, but before that, can you tell me about your journey to get to this place?
So my background is as a nurse. I started my nursing journey in 2006. So I've been a nurse for a really long time. And clinically, what I saw in our current medical care system is you would see patients come through the system, they would see a doctor, they would get prescribed medication, they would get prescribed surgery, maybe they would get prescribed physical therapy, but their understanding of the disease process was often lacking by a wide margin. Their ability to manage their disease process was often lacking. Their ability to learn new health behaviors to help heal from disease process or prevent other diseases was lacking. And I have this experience not only as a nurse, but as a patient. So I share in my videos, I have a history of ulcerative colitis, anxiety, and chronic back pain. I call it nurse back because so many nurses, CNAs, overuse their back in the work environment, lifting people, boosting people in bed, doing procedures across the bed, half bent over. And so with simple health behaviors that are quite simple. So the tasks that I teach people are very simple, but it's the shift in mindset that is the challenge. So with these health behaviors that I teach clients, I've been flare-free for as long as 7 years, and I have no back pain, I'd say 98% of the time, and I've mastered anxiety. So that's what I have, that's my story, and that's what I have to offer.
Okay, great. So yeah, I think that's a real key point is that some people go for back pain. They don't think about maybe the root cause of that, or they just go to the doctor and say they're going to give me medicine and fix me. And it
Right,
just keeps this vicious cycle going with back issues
right,
that never gets resolved. So how do you
yeah,
step in with somebody there that's been repeated back things like back goes out, see the doctor, back goes out, see the doctor, and they keep in this loop?
right. So I work in cooperation with their medical provider. So as long as their doctor has cleared them to do certain exercises, I teach a lot of stretching. I teach, basic hydration, rest, positioning, diet, exercise, community, and even spirituality and joy.
Okay, yeah, because I think that's one of the things too. Maybe the back injury isn't really rooted in physical. It could be something, mentally going on that's causing issues as well, emotionally holding in the back. Do you run across that as well?
Yes. So in my case, I hold tension in my lower back. So there was a physical injury for sure. Overusing it at the bedside, lifting patients, boosting patients, doing procedures. But there's also a social emotional side to any sort of pain that you have in the body. And so that's why it's a holistic, whole person, mind, body, soul approach, as opposed to just give them the pill and send them on their way.
Right, exactly. That's what that's what they're needing. As we were talking about shift on mindset. So how did
Yes.
you master anxiety?
So meditation, in many different forms. So I just did a workshop with some women actually, and I talked about the different ways that you can practice meditation. So it does not have to be sitting in front of a wall, being silent, cross-legged, counting down from 10. It can be mindfully walking in the woods. It can be mindfully stretching with yoga. It can be counting if that sort of like helps your mind quiet down. It could be washing the dishes, mindfully just paying attention to the sensations and the smells around you. So it's meditation, yoga, because a yoga is a wonderful thing for almost everything. And then the basic health behaviors that I had mentioned, making sure that I have enough rest, making sure that I have a community around me that is supportive and is going to, validate my feelings and also uh, sort of hold me accountable as well. So you want a nice supportive community. And for me, I have a personal spirituality that I practice, which helps me feel connected to others rather than isolated. So different angles. I mastered it from different angles.
Okay, so I think it's really important to demystify meditation because when
Yes.
found meditation, you always had that image of Zen monks sitting a certain way, holding the
Yeah.
posture a certain way, breathing a certain way. And I was like,
Yeah.
I could never do that.
Right.
So
Yes. And a lot of people think that.
right, so we need to demystify that it's just a matter of just being present in this moment, and that is
Right.
meditation. Because you're either up in the
So
yeah, go ahead.
So meditation is all about taking your racing mind and just slowing it down. So what I'll tell people is do something that works for you. So sitting in front of a wall, cross-legged and counting down from 10 is the most difficult meditation for most people because it just is. People don't just do that on a day-to-day basis. And so when I did the workshop, I started the walking meditation because it's actually moving, and most of us walk on a daily basis. So it was something that they were familiar with. Then we did mindful movement, which was similar to body scan meditation. So we sat next to my river and we just literally sat in our bodies, felt any sort of tension, stretch to release the tension, just to really get grounded in our bodies. Then we did drumming meditation. So the benefit of drumming meditation is it often takes your brain waves, which in a high anxiety state, your brain waves are operating at a higher frequency, and it helps them get sort of in sync with a drumming meditation, a drumming rhythm. And then when you slow down the drumming rhythm, it can help to slow down your thoughts. And then the last meditation we did was just sitting and practicing mantras. So gratitude meditation. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, very, very good. Because what I see people with meditation is just learning to be present. Because typically you're
Yeah,
either in the mind or here in this moment. So anything that
right.
gets engaged in this moment, whether it's like drumming will get them here, walking will get them here,
Yeah,
recognizing your feet that you are indeed walking. All these little things
right,
become meditation. It's not being Zen-like and just sitting there, just learning so
right,
simply just to be here in this moment. And I never realized
right.
with drum meditation, yeah, you're getting your brain waves in sync with that beat.
Yeah,
I never thought of it that way.
yeah. And also, if you're in a high anxiety state, so I've done this before where something has been going on, it's out of my control, I can't control the outcome, I feel very anxious about it. And so I'll go running with my dog to speed my body up to the level of my mind. So my mind is going very fast. So I'll go running with my dog to speed up the speed of my body to match my mind. And suddenly I am focused on, I don't want to trip and fall in the woods. I need to breathe. It forces me in the moment. And then I slow down together. My mind and body slow down together.
Right. And that's where yoga
Yeah.
comes in handy as well. It's another present, and you're
Yeah.
moving as well. So it's all these tools
Right.
for being present, because I think that's what people need the most, is learn to be present, because most people are not fully here. They're up in the story of the day, the nonsense, whatever made them upset, whatever it is. And people are
Yeah.
completely identified with, I call, the head trash, this mental
Yeah.
noise that we need to throw it out. It's not serving us.
Right. Exactly. There's a lot of head trash going on for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of head trash. People can get, that's how I basically healed myself, was just getting rid of the head trash. Stop
Awesome.
believing the mind and just being here in this moment. That was it. Oh,
Yeah.
mind thinking. The always I thought like meditation means you stop thinking. And I'm like, no, that's not the case at all. So I
Right.
discovered mind thinking, then I would say stop thinking. Then I realized it's a thought chasing a thought. Then I realized,
Hmm.
wait a second, I'm not these thoughts. I'm the awareness of the thoughts.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so one of the practices we did was, as thoughts come into your mind, you don't need to attach to them. So you can have your thoughts. It's no big deal. Your brain is all about thoughts. Your brain wants to make thoughts all day long. It's no big deal. But you don't need to be attached to every thought or every feeling that comes through your mind.
Right. And that's another key word that I think that's very important too, is attach. Usually we're
Yeah.
attached too much to pain, the
Yeah.
body, and when you attach to something, it makes it sticky, makes it more
Yeah.
prone to stay there.
Right. And that's brain pathways. So if I'm going to get more scientific, so the neurons in your brain, once you make a behavior, they literally attach to each other. And once you form new habits, they literally detach and reattach to other neurons. So it's a physical process. Our habit changes. And so that's why, one of the reasons why changing your habits is so difficult, because your neurons need to go through that physical process. But after you practice it for a while, it becomes easier and easier and easier because your brain attachments have changed.
Right. And I heard it takes like roughly a month to change a habit that's really ingrained,
I
to
think
rewire.
it's different for different people. And you can change the surface level, and then you get to a deeper level, and then you understand it at a deeper level. So I think that's different for different people.
Right, exactly. So what are the other ways of prevention that you teach, that you make people say, I had this recurring chronic back problem. I don't want this to occur anymore. I want to be pain free for the rest of my life. What's the
Hmm.
prevention techniques that you put in place so they don't have to go
Right.
back to that pain?
Right. So we start with mindfulness. So mindfully, what are you doing with your body all day? So that's where the meditation comes in. Then we start with other ways of being mindful. So how are you hydrating your body? So with me, when I was having back spasms, spasms that I at one of my low points was I was on my basement floor for over an hour because I went into back spasms and I could not stand up. I felt that my back was breaking. I could not stand up. And what in the context of that was I was working really long hours as a nurse. I was not hydrating myself, because if you talk to any nurse or CNA, they're going to say, if I drink water, it's going to, one, take time to drink the water, and two, it's going to take time to have to go to the bathroom. And so that's a true thought process for a lot of caregivers. So I was not drinking enough water. I was not getting enough sleep at night. So I'm a big proponent of at least 8 hours of sleep per night, because so the whole thing with water is it flushes out lactic acid, it flushes out inflammatory mediators. The whole thing with sleeping is it relaxes your muscles. So you start at a more relaxed baseline when you wake up. as opposed to broken sleep or not enough sleep. You don't give the muscles enough time to relax. The other thing with sleep is it helps wounds heal. It helps with tissue repair, and it also reduces inflammation in the body. So hydration, sleep, getting out into sunlight. So I was just reading an article today actually about the benefits of sunlight on preventing autoimmune diseases and inflammation. So I don't believe that they've made the exact connection in terms of the science behind it, but we all know that getting out into the sunlight increases your vitamin D, which helps you store calcium in your bones. And they found that critically ill patients in the hospital who are low on vitamin D are more likely to die. So sunlight, good for you.
Right. Yeah. Sunlight and vitamin D are very important.
All right. So water, sleep, sunlight. So diet, basically what your mother told you when you were little. Eat your fruits and veggies. This is what I mean when I say the program that I teach is not, it's not complicated at all, but it's the habit change, the change in mindset. That's the complication. Eat your fruits and veggies. Most plants, unless they are corn-based or sugar-based, are going to reduce inflammation, especially green leafy vegetables, ginger, green tea and black tea, turmeric. Where are we at now? Spirituality, exercise. So with back pain, especially if you're starting out with back spasms, you're going to want to take care of your basic vehicle, which is all the other stuff that I mentioned just now, and also incorporate stretching. Because if your muscles are spasming, they need to relax. Gentle stretching to begin with, because on my personal back pain journey, I would stretch too much and it would piss my muscles right off and they would, spasm more. So gentle stretching to begin with, yoga, and in the context of back pain, in particular, core muscle workouts, because you want to reduce the workload that your back is doing. So you want to use other muscles to help your back so that your back is not strained all the time by holding yourself up. And then community and joy. Spirituality and joy. So whatever your personal path is, I don't care personally if you are, Buddhist or atheist or Christian or Hindu, whatever spiritual path that you have that gives you peace, I encourage you to follow that. And if you don't have a spiritual path, that's where we do the meditation. And that's where we do practicing gratitude and things like that. And then community, making sure that your community is going to support you. So finding people around you that are going to support you.
Right, exactly. So you touched on a few things there. I think most people don't realize that some of this inflammation is coming from our own inner environment. What are our thoughts to ourselves? Are we kind and gentle with ourselves? That's where the
Yeah.
spiritual part comes into, is being kind and gentle, not being critical of yourself, judgmental. Get all these
Yeah.
stress hormones build up, and that's terrible for inflammation.
It's true. Yeah.
So most people don't even think
Absolutely.
that inflammation is really related to, our inner dialogue as well.
Yeah. So, and I want to testify to what you just said, because when I was sick with ulcerative colitis, I had to become very aware of how I was talking to my body. So when you're sick, you feel like you can get to the place where you feel like you're worthless, because I can't go to work. I can't clean the house. My husband has to pick up the slack. I'm laying on the bed while I'm watching him clean the house. So I had to, again, get really mindful with how I was talking to myself. And what was more beneficial, what was very, very beneficial, was talking to my body in a way that was, what do you need? Rather than, I hate you, body, you're screwing me over. saying to your body, what do you need? How can I take care of you?
Right, absolutely. Because every person I've seen with an autoimmune disease has an inner dialogue issue.
I would say, you know what? I want to start paying attention to that more and
Yeah,
more, because
because
I would say that that is likely true. I want to pay attention. Every single person with an autoimmune disease, what is their self-talk going on? Yeah.
yeah, because I had 3 autoimmune diseases that I don't have now, but it was always, no, not good enough, not worthy, not deserving. All these
Yeah.
stories we tell ourselves and get all these
Yeah.
stress hormones fired up, and the body starts attacking itself.
Right. Isn't it so interesting?
Yeah, it's all this mind body connect and spirit connection. It's all intertwined, and we have to integrate it all these pieces.
Right.
And I mentioned another thing too was this very important part is inner peace, being at peace with this moment. Because my own
Mm-hmm.
case was I was never focused on healing myself. That was too
Mm-hmm.
big of a leap for my mind to take. I can't heal multiple sclerosis. I can't heal PTSD. I can't heal arthritis and all these
Mm-hmm.
issues. I simply wanted, I read meditation brings inner peace. I need that. And then peace was my source of transformation.
Awesome. That's wonderful.
So it's really that simple. If you can get yourself in peace and then everything
Mm-hmm.
else sort of falls into line,
Mm-hmm.
then, then it gets, into these more spiritual, mystical places when you have this peace and the mind gets quiet, this intuitive voice comes online to do this,
Yeah.
to do that. And that's all I did was just follow my own inner guide, my own compass to help
Mm-hmm.
because ultimately we're healers. We help people get back into their well-being, but we can only take them so far. It's the
Right.
rest that you have to take those steps, those actions yourself. There's preventive actions and monitor your own inner dialogue. We don't live with you. We can't tell you, hey, mind your
Right.
words.
Right. Exactly. And, someone might be thinking something or going through something, and unless they share it, the healer doesn't know about it.
Right,
So we
right.
can't help that what we don't know about.
Yeah, even really subtle things, even people not even aware of that your partner may be picking up. If you constantly drop stuff or do something, you're like,
Yeah.
you idiot, you moron, why'd you do this? That's all the
Yeah.
same stuff that causes these autoimmune diseases and issues and problems. One of the pieces that you're talking about earlier is a shift in mindset. So let's
Mhm.
dive more into shifting into this mindset and how you help people to shift from this really critical person beating themselves up with all these issues to a person that's healthy and at peace with themselves.
Right. So one of the practices that I've offered other women is visualizing their heart getting bigger and accepting this blessing that they are going to get better. They are going to have less pain. They are going to have a better sense of well-being. So it's a subconscious reprogramming. So I can say all day, I want something big. I want to go to the Bahamas every 3 months or whatever. But if I am not taking the action to get there because my subconscious mind doesn't truly believe it, then I'm not going to be successful. So it's the same with health journey, with well-being journey. If I say I want to master anxiety, but I'm not willing to take the time to change the behaviors to help the subconscious mind reprogram itself, I'm not going to be successful.
Right, because you're going to have that old mindset in place. And with the old mindset comes old problems
Right.
that just carry each other. I think you mentioned
Right.
something really important there too, is I'm very mindful of the words I use, like healing, health. They usually have a lot of baggage with it, a lot of stories tied up
Mm-hmm.
in that. So I think it's important to focus on wholeness, well-being. To me, that just feels more uplifting, more positive. There's usually not stories with that. You think well-being,
Mm-hmm.
you think somebody healthy and vibrant, where healing may be this journey where you're not doing so well and you start focus on these negativities and
Mm-hmm.
all of that stuff. And I think it's
Mm-hmm.
important too with visioning that it is to see this new reality, this new way of being,
Mm-hmm.
not so caught up in the mental stories that say you can't have this. Well, why not dream it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, visualization. So one of the exercises I did um, was I would visualize the track of ulcerative colitis. So I would visualize my organs, quite frankly, and I would visualize what I saw in the colonoscopy, and then I would visualize the stages of healing in the tissue. So visualization can be very helpful.
Right, because you are the creator of your reality. So if you can see it and before it becomes reality, it's like thoughts become things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
along the law of attraction there that we can
Mm-hmm.
visualize it believe it's going to happen before it actually happens. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people, some people have healed on that just by visualization. They were firmly rooted in a belief that this will be my reality.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, we get back to mindset. It all begins with mindset. If you
Right.
don't have that belief in yourself, or even the biggest thing I think is not really the belief, is the trust in yourself. I think most
Right.
of us are taught to distrust ourselves, not to
Mm-hmm.
believe that we know what's best for us.
Mm-hmm.
I know in my own case, I was too reliant on the doctors, that they knew what was best for me.
Yeah.
Until I step back and say, wait a second, I live in this body. I know what's best
Right.
for me. They
Right.
give me guidance, suggestions, but is it my truth?
Right. And my doctor um, has the best of intentions, and he has certain training that means he can offer certain things. That's the reality of our healthcare system right now. Is he has certain training, he can offer certain things. And in a lot of my own healing process, I just had to find other means to get better.
Right. And what felt
So
right for
they,
you?
yeah, yes, yes, yes. So an example is my doctor wanted to start me on a biologic, when I was years and years ago when I was sick with ulcerative colitis, and I said, no. No, I am not going to do that. I am going to investigate other ways to get better. And it's been a lifelong journey, and it will continue to be a lifelong journey as I learn new things every day, and I get deeper with my understanding every day. But I strongly believe that you do have the ability to first reprogram your brain and to talk to your body, and for your body to talk to you. I strongly believe in that.
Right. It's a fully integrated approach, not
Yeah.
ignoring any of the pieces, like the 7 or 8 pieces that you described. It's like integrating them
Yeah.
all into the
Right.
state of well-being, and that life is a continuous journey. As long as we're alive in this body, there's new experiences every day.
Right.
Because everybody has this need for a guide potentially, and let's
Mm-hmm.
see if people find that you're my guide. Where can I reach you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you can reach me at www.healthtransformersmaine.com. And I have a Facebook group, Health Transformers. And I have a private Facebook group that's specifically related to back pain. It's called Fix Your Back, Live Your Life. Or you can email me directly at rwlongacre, that's rwlongacre @gmail.com.
All right, and we'll have all these in the show notes as well so they can find you.
Thank you.
So, if any last parting words you want to instill in our audience before we close for today?
I would say, just to reiterate, you have to believe it. You have to believe that you can believe it. So even if you're having doubts, you have to at least entertain the possibility that it's possible to get better from chronic illness.
Right. Without the belief that you can get better, you're not going to get better.
Right. Because subconsciously you will find ways to not get better.
Absolutely. It's all that mindset stuff that we sometimes ignore.
Right.
Thank you, Becky, for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Wellness Wednesdays with Sam, the Miracle Man. And we hope you'll continue to discover the power of resilience and the steps we can all take to create our own miracles while on our bumpy path to well-being. But just remember, be present, find clarity, and also subscribe so we can all continue to share this life-changing journey together. See you next Wednesday.